My beloved child, your silence is driving your soulmate completely insane right now, and even though they try to appear calm on the outside, their heart has become louder than ever before, because the moment your energy pulled away, something inside them suddenly woke up, and now every quiet second feels heavier to them than they ever imagined possible. They keep wondering why your presence feels distant, why your messages feel slower, why the warmth they once felt so naturally now feels hidden behind a mysterious wall they cannot break through. And listen carefully now, because this is not ordinary silence. This silence is becoming the mirror, forcing them to confront feelings they tried to avoid for so long. They thought they had more time. They thought you would always remain emotionally available no matter how inconsistent they became. But now the universe has shifted the balance, and suddenly they are the one feeling restless at night while staring at their phone, hoping your name appears across the screen, and secretly they replay your old conversations in their mind, trying to decode every word, every emotion, every hidden meaning they failed to notice before, because your absence has become louder than any argument they ever experienced with you. And the truth is terrifying them more each day, because for the first time they are realizing what life actually feels like without your constant emotional energy surrounding them. And yes, my child, they are pretending to be busy, pretending to stay distracted, pretending nothing has changed, but deep down they are emotionally spiraling, because your silence has created questions they cannot escape from. Questions about love, commitment, timing, destiny, and whether they already lost someone who truly understood their soul better than anyone else ever could. And erase the truth. Every place they go somehow reminds them of you. Every song suddenly sounds connected to your energy. Every romantic moment they witness between other people quietly triggers memories of what they shared with you. And even when they laugh around others, there is still an emptiness inside them that refuses to disappear, because your silence has become a lesson their soul can no longer ignore. They miss the comfort of your attention, the emotional safety of your words, the calmness they felt whenever you truly listened to them without judgment. And now that those things feel distant, they are starting to understand your value in a way they never fully appreciated before. But wait. This emotional chaos is only growing stronger, because they expected you to chase them again. They expected you to break the silence first. They expected your heart to keep reaching toward them no matter how cold or confused they became. Yet something changed within you, and they can feel it deeply. They feel that your energy is no longer begging for clarity, no longer fighting for validation, no longer exhausting itself trying to prove love to someone unwilling to fully receive it. And that realization is shaking them harder than they admit to anyone around them, because now they fear the possibility that you are finally choosing yourself. And listen carefully now, because this fear is making them obsess over every small detail connected to you. They are checking your social media more than before, paying attention to the timing of your posts, wondering who you spend time with, secretly analyzing whether your silence means you are healing, moving on, or preparing to walk away forever. And this uncertainty is becoming unbearable for them, because they cannot control it. They cannot predict you anymore. They cannot confidently assume your heart still belongs completely to them the way it once did. And secretly this loss of control is forcing them into emotional vulnerability they tried to avoid for a very long time. Because the moment your energy became quiet, their heart started speaking louder than ever before. And yes, my child, there are moments when they suddenly stop whatever they are doing, because a powerful memory of you enters their mind without warning. Memories of your smile, your kindness, your emotional depth. the way you made them feel seen even during their darkest moments, and these thoughts are not leaving them alone anymore. They are following them into late nights, into empty rooms, into moments of loneliness when nobody else is around to distract them from the truth. And the truth is this: they miss you more deeply than their pride wants to admit. They miss your emotional presence more than they expected possible, and secretly they are beginning to realize that no temporary distraction can replace the connection they felt with you, because your soul touched parts of them nobody else ever reached before, and now your silence has become the loudest spiritual awakening they have experienced in a very long time. And do not skip this part, because something even deeper is happening. Behind the scenes, the universe is forcing them to emotionally sit with everything they avoided before, all the delayed feelings, all the confusion, all the moments they pushed aside while pretending they were emotionally fine, and suddenly those buried emotions are rising to the surface one by one, making them restless, emotional, nostalgic, and unexpectedly sensitive whenever your energy crosses their mind. And sometimes they even feel your absence physically, like a heaviness in their chest. They cannot explain logically, because soul connections do not disappear simply because two people stop talking for a while. Real spiritual bonds continue communicating through energy, emotions, dreams, memories, and intuition, and your soulmate is beginning to feel this connection stronger now that external communication has become quiet, because silence removes distractions and forces the soul to finally listen. And their soul is screaming your name louder than ever before, even if their mouth remains silent in the physical world and erase the truth. They are also starting to regret moments when they took your love for granted, moments when they responded too slowly, moments when they emotionally pulled away while secretly expecting you to stay patient forever, because now they understand how painful distance truly feels. Now they understand the emptiness your absence creates. Now they understand the emotional security they lost when your energy became unavailable. And these realizations are hitting them hardest during the quietest hours of the night, when there is nobody around to distract them from their own heart, and secretly they are imagining conversations with you in their mind, thinking about what they would say if they reached out, wondering whether you would still respond warmly or whether your heart has already started closing the door emotionally. And this uncertainty terrifies them, because they know deep inside that you are capable of walking away once you finally choose inner peace over emotional confusion. And yes, my child, your silence is becoming the wake-up call they never expected but desperately needed, because sometimes people only recognize the depth of a connection after feeling the painful possibility of losing it forever. And listen carefully, because they are starting to compare everyone else to you now. Every conversation feels less meaningful. Every temporary connection feels emotionally shallow. Every distraction eventually leads their thoughts back toward you, because nobody else carries the same energy your soul naturally brings into their life, and this realization is haunting them more each day. They wonder if they ruined something rare. They wonder if their fear caused unnecessary distance. They wonder if they allowed ego to interfere with a love that could have transformed their entire future. And secretly they blame themselves more than they ever admit outwardly, because deep down they know your silence did not appear randomly. It came after emotional exhaustion, after waiting too long for clarity, after repeatedly feeling uncertain about where you truly stood in their heart. And now the tables have turned, because they are the one craving reassurance while your energy remains calm, distant, mysterious, and emotionally unreadable. And that emotional mystery is driving them completely insane right now because they can no longer predict whether you still want them or whether you are preparing to release the connection completely and erase the truth. This emotional pressure is forcing them to confront their true feelings faster than ever before, because silence leaves no room for emotional avoidance. Silence forces honesty. Silence exposes attachment. Silence reveals hidden love people tried desperately to deny. And your soulmate is now standing face to face with emotions they can no longer escape from. And even though they try to resist it, their heart keeps pulling them back toward you again and again and again, because your connection was never ordinary. It was spiritual, magnetic, unforgettable, and deeply transformative. And listen carefully now, because there are moments when they suddenly feel emotional without understanding why, moments when your energy enters their thoughts so strongly that it completely changes their mood, moments when they feel intense longing for your voice, your attention, your affection, your emotional warmth. And during those moments they realize how deeply attached they truly became to you, even if they spent months pretending otherwise. And yes, my child, they are also feeling jealous at the thought of someone else receiving the love they once experienced from you, because they know how rare your emotional depth truly is. They know how safe and understood people feel around your energy. And the idea of losing permanent access to that love is creating emotional panic inside them, stronger than they expected possible. And secretly they are wondering whether you have already met someone new. Whether another person is slowly receiving the attention they once had from you. Whether your heart is finally opening elsewhere after becoming tired of waiting for emotional consistency from them. And these thoughts are disturbing their peace more every single day, because now they understand that your silence is not weakness. Your silence is power. Your silence is healing. Your silence is emotional self-respect. And your soulmate can feel that transformation happening within you even from a distance, and that transformation is forcing them to finally recognize your true worth. And do not skip this next part, because something unexpected is happening inside their spirit right now. They are beginning to emotionally chase your energy without fully realizing it. They replay your old pictures, reread conversations, revisit memories they once ignored, and secretly search for signs that you still care about them. Because your silence has created emotional withdrawal inside them, similar to losing something deeply addictive and comforting at the same time. And the more they try to suppress their feelings, the stronger those feelings become, because suppressed love does not disappear, it grows louder in silence. And now their heart is becoming impossible for them to ignore. And yes, there are moments when they almost reach out to you, moments when they type messages then delete them, moments when they stare at your name wondering whether enough time has passed, wondering whether you still miss them too, wondering whether your silence hides sadness or complete emotional detachment. And this confusion is emotionally consuming them, because for the first time they are no longer emotionally certain about where they stand with you, and that uncertainty is humbling their ego in powerful ways, because the universe is teaching them what your absence truly feels like. And listen carefully, because your soulmate is also beginning to understand how much emotional effort you invested into this connection. They are realizing how often you tried to create peace, understanding, reassurance, patience, and emotional safety between both of you. And now that your energy feels quieter, they finally recognize the emotional weight you were carrying alone for so long. And this realization is creating deep guilt inside them, because they know they could have loved you more openly, communicated more honestly, appreciated your heart more consistently, and valued your presence more carefully before distance entered the connection, and now every quiet moment feels like a reminder of what they risk losing forever, and erase the truth. Sometimes your soulmate suddenly feels emotional waves out of nowhere because your souls remain spiritually connected beyond physical communication, and during these moments they can feel your energy pulling away emotionally, which triggers panic deep inside their heart, because souls recognize separation before the mind fully understands it. And your soulmate spirit is beginning to fear that your silence may eventually become permanent, and that fear is changing everything inside them. It is softening them emotionally, making them more reflective, more vulnerable, more aware of the depth of their love for you, and even though they may not fully express it outwardly yet, their inner world has become completely consumed by thoughts of you. And yes, my child, they are imagining reconciliation more than you realize, imagining emotional conversations, imagining finally expressing feelings they kept hidden, imagining holding you again and feeling the emotional peace they lost when distance entered this connection, because your silence has made them realize that superficial distractions cannot replace soul-level love, and every attempt to move on emotionally somehow leads them back toward your energy once again, and secretly they are starting to understand that you were never easy to replace because your connection touched their spirit in ways ordinary relationships never could, and now they fear learning that lesson too late. And listen carefully, because there are nights when they cannot sleep peacefully because your memory keeps returning stronger and stronger, nights when they suddenly feel emotional regret for the way certain situations unfolded between you both, nights when they wish they had communicated differently, loved more openly, chosen vulnerability instead of emotional distance, and these thoughts are becoming impossible for them to silence anymore, because your absence has become the loudest emotional teacher they ever experienced. And yes, your soulmate is driving themselves insane trying to understand whether you still love them in silence too, because despite everything they still feel your energy around them constantly. They still feel emotionally connected to you in ways logic cannot explain. And this invisible spiritual connection continues pulling at their heart every single day, making them miss you harder, think about you deeper, and emotionally crave your presence more intensely than before. And erase the truth, my child. The more peaceful your silence becomes, the more emotionally chaotic their inner world grows. Because they expected your energy to remain available forever, yet now they feel the terrifying possibility of truly losing you, and that realization is forcing them into emotional awakening whether they are ready or not, because real love becomes impossible to ignore once absence reveals its true value. And your soulmate is finally learning that lesson now in the most intense way possible. Do not skip this part, because the deeper truth is that your soulmate never expected your silence to become this powerful. They thought time would slowly erase the emotional intensity between you both, yet instead every passing day has only made your energy feel stronger inside their heart. And now they are beginning to understand that what they shared with you was never temporary attraction but a connection that reached directly into their soul. And listen carefully, because there are moments when they suddenly stop in the middle of their day feeling overwhelmed by memories of you, memories so vivid that it almost feels like your spirit is standing beside them again. and secretly they wonder if you can feel them missing you too, because the emotional pull between your souls has become impossible for them to ignore anymore. And yes, my child, they are realizing that your silence carries pain, wisdom, self-respect, and emotional maturity all at once, and that realization is humbling them deeply. Because now they see the strength it took for you to finally become quiet after giving so much love so consistently, and erase the truth. Your absence has forced them to face their own emotional fears, fears of abandonment, fears of vulnerability, fears of losing someone they secretly considered irreplaceable long before they admitted it even to themselves. And now those fears are rising stronger every night while they stare into silence, wondering whether destiny will still allow them another chance with you. And there are moments when they almost break down emotionally, because no matter how hard they try to distract themselves, your energy keeps returning to their mind like an unfinished story their soul refuses to let go of, and secretly they replay the smallest details about you, the way you spoke, the way you comforted them, the way your love always felt genuine even during difficult moments, and those memories are haunting them beautifully, because now they understand how rare your heart truly was. And listen carefully now, because your soulmate is slowly realizing that losing communication with you also meant losing emotional peace within themselves, because your energy brought calmness into their life in ways they never fully appreciated until it became distant. And yes, my child, there is growing regret inside them for every moment they allowed confusion, ego, or emotional inconsistency to create distance between you both, because now they see clearly what they could not see before, and that clarity is making their heart ache more each day, and secretly they fear that you are healing faster than they expected. They fear that your silence means you are finally releasing the connection emotionally, and this thought shakes them deeply, because they are only now beginning to fully accept how much they truly love you. And erase the truth. The universe is using this silence to transform both of your souls, teaching them the value of emotional honesty while teaching you the power of self-worth and inner peace. And because of that transformation, your soulmate feels drawn toward you more intensely than ever before. And there are nights when they whisper your name softly in their mind, hoping somehow your soul can still hear them across the distance. Because despite everything, their heart continues searching for your energy even in complete silence. And listen carefully, because they are starting to realize that no amount of pride can protect them from the truth anymore. The truth that your silence has awakened feelings inside them too powerful to hide, too deep to deny, and too real to escape. And now every quiet moment only reminds them of one thing. They do not want a future where you are no longer part of their life.